Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mayhemtainment. I am your host, JD, and I will introduce my counterparts here in just a moment. But this begins the beginning of our 2025 Halloween special that we do all month long. We'll be doing 3 episodes. We'll be doing this one. This one's on an individual movie, The Ghostbusters. We'll be doing one on an obscure movie that we're still actually discussing, and then we're going to do a live episode, and that will be on the Friday the 13th series with Jason. And let me introduce my fellow co-hosts for this episode on The Ghostbusters. First, the man underneath me, who that I mean that on your screen, not literally. And whose idea this whole Halloween special was. Ecto85, our graphic artist. It's good to have you here. And of course, the person we just lost was the Media Maverick Mike Weldon, who has technical problems where he's shooting, and sometimes that happens. And now next to me is the vice president of Mayhem Media, Mizpah. Welcome, boys.
Hey.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys are. This is a a staple of Mayhem Media right here. The four of us together right now is it's a good part of the company right now. We're only missing Wolfman and Connor. Shout out Wolfman and Connor. The Media Maverick is trying to get back in, so until he is in, I'm going to take control of it. Michael, as soon as you get back in, I'll bring you back in. So we're going to be talking about Ghostbusters. Last year we did a lot of horror. We wanted this year to be more about a little bit more upbeat than just straight horror and that type of thing. So when Robby said about the Ghostbusters for our first movie, I wanted to. I think that was the way to go. So as soon as he suggested that, I brought him. We went forward with that idea. So Ghostbusters 1, guys. First of all, let's just talk about what you guys think of the movie. Robby, what are your thoughts on the movie?
Originally, I wasn't a big Ghostbusters fan when it came to the live action movie. I think it took me to get older to appreciate what it was.
Interesting.
I liked the cartoon when I was growing up, but see, I like the practical effects and the mix between practical and special effects, and then knowing the backstories with Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd and all this stuff. It's made me a lover of the film.
Yeah. I can't say. Well, I've been a fan of the film the whole time. Now, when I was younger, I will say that I likely liked the cartoons a little bit more than the movie, but I was been a fan of the movie for a long time. Mizpah?
Yeah, I'd say I liked the movie from the first time I saw it. As a kid, more just because of the humor and because of Slimer.
Of course. Oh, you said it. Let me. We're having trouble with StreamYard. StreamYard has been lagging and giving us some issues. So I apologize. Unfortunately, none of our little audio clips that I had for us are working, and our visuals are taking this long to load up. So 30 seconds or something like that almost to load up. Slimer, absolutely Slimer. I don't know anybody who at least wasn't a fan of Slimer, and I love that they gave him a nod in the live action movie. Let's hear from the Media Maverick, and then I'm going to go back to Ecto on Slimer for a second. Mike, what are your thoughts on the first Ghostbusters live action movie?
It made me fall. I loved it. I loved everything about it.
Were you a
Bill
fan
Murray?
of Oh yeah, Bill Murray is hilarious. Were you a fan of the cartoon series also?
I was, yes. I'm also in the process of trying to get some of the Ghostbusters figures that are out there in the world.
Oh, nice. Robby, before we went live, was showing us many of his toys. We can't put them on camera right now, but suffice it to say that you'd have to be a hardcore collector to beat Robby's collection. Robby's not the hardcore collector. He doesn't spend every cent on it and stuff. So there's likely a hardcore collector that's got a better collection than him. But if you're just a fan collector, Robby likely has you beat. That's just the way it is.
I don't doubt it. He's because he got the whole outfit going and everything.
Oh yeah, he came prepared. He came prepared. And Robbie, let me
That's
go back
right.
to you then. Let me go back to you then. I got the Ecto up on the screen here. The car, the toys. This was every kid's dream to have this as a toy.
And John, you know I had it. I had the Ecto 1. I had the Firehouse. I had a bunch of the Ghosts. I had
Yeah.
a punch bug that turned into a praying mantis. I
Yeah.
had the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which was like that big rubber.
Yeah. I had the Ecto and I had some of the people, but Robbie had the little toys. He had like the little pieces, the proton packs and the little like he had all the attachments and all that stuff. I usually just ended up with the car and the people. And I was always more of a car person. I was never really a figure person when I was younger. Can't imagine why that was. But cars were always my thing. So the Ecto was one of my favorite vehicles in terms of like kids cartoons and comics and that type of thing. I'd have to say that and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles van would probably be the top two.
And the 1989 Batmobile.
Oh, of course. You're right. I did forget that one.
I actually
And-
have a.
Go ahead, Mike.
I actually have a family friend that actually has a replica Ecto 1.
Nice.
Like he drives it
Yeah.
and everything.
Oh, nice. Oh, like a real car. Oh, that's nice.
Mhm.
I brought Slimer back
All I
up.
have is a golf car with the license plates on it.
Yeah.
That's still cool.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get into some of our favorites here. Let's start with, obviously we have to go with the most obvious as soon as it pops up on the screen here. But who is your favorite Ghostbuster? Mizpah, let's start with you this time.
Oh man. Honestly, I'd have to go with Bill Murray because without his comic relief, I don't think the movie would be as good as it is.
Yep, Peter Venkman. That's also my pick. And I would like to say before I throw it to the other two guys that Venkman was not my favorite in the cartoons. He wasn't my favorite until Bill Murray embodied the role. So Venkman was not my favorite in the cartoons, but he was in the movies. Robby H, what about your pick? What's your favorite pick?
Mine is a mix between Egon and Ray Stantz.
Yeah.
Ray has always been one of my favorites. I like the way Dan Aykroyd played the character. I always liked the little goggles he wore. I mean, I just always liked him. In the cartoon, I like Egon better than anybody. So
I think that would probably been my pick in the cartoon too. Was Egon? He was always the most serious. The other two guys were just a little too cartoony. You know what I mean? That was my problem with the other three Ghostbusters in the cartoon was they just were a little too immature. I always liked the Egon. He was always the one who was always on business, talking about the science and the technical of all that. I love that part of it. Mike, what about you? What's your favorite?
It's a toss up for me between Egon and Venkman. It's a tie because who doesn't want to be the smartest guy in the room? But Venkman always wanted to act like he was better than everybody.
No, I don't think it was that he was better than everybody. He just had a different. Philosophy. He was not the scientist. Ray and Egon were the scientists. Well, he's a scientist himself, of course. He has his PhDs, but he
was basically coming along for the ride.
Yeah, he's a business guy, and that's why he fits in with Ray and Egon too, because Ray and Egon are not business guys. Look what happened when Ray bought the Ecto 1. If I had the soundbite, this was a perfect segue right into the soundbite that I had, where Ray goes over everything that's wrong with this car when he gets it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, our soundbites.
I love that part.
I know, but that's just it. That's what's perfect, though. I think there's a reason that scene was there, and it's to show that Ray and Egon are not business guys; they're the science guys. Venkman,
especially when they buy the firehouse, he slides down the pole, and he's like, "We'll take it."
Another perfect segue. Of course, I had the sound bite. You guys have to try this pole. So unfortunately, we don't. I don't get to throw it out there, but I did have the sound bite ready to go. They're not working, but yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying though. Venkman was the businessman. He was the commercial guy. He was the businessman. So I don't think that he was better than everybody else. I think he was just more of a character than everybody else. Just like I don't believe that I'm better or smarter than any of you three. I'm just a different character than you three.
Yeah. Just for me, what really kind of set that tone for me is in the one scene where he's trying to show make the people guess what images he has, and he always
hilarious. That's not being an asshole. That's hilarious.
Even
and
when the
him
guy
just trying to get a piece.
Yeah, that's hilarious, dude. That's hilarious. I don't care that the dude was getting him right and that he just kept siding with the girl and just kept letting her get him right. I don't care. That is another perfect scene because it goes to show who Bill Murray's Venkman was playing. He wasn't a scientist. He was a ladies' man. He was the business guy. He wasn't the biggest scientist in the world. He doesn't care about the science. That's why exactly like Ecto said here. I'm going to call you Ecto and Robby throughout the whole thing. It's going to be back and forth. But that's what, just like he was saying, he's like along for the ride. They need him to be that business side. They need him to complete their trifecta. But he's nothing without those two as well, because he doesn't have the smarts or the knowledge or the science. And then, of course, nobody selected him, but we got to give him a shout out if the visual will come back up on the screen here. We got to.
It's up on my screen.
It's up on
Winston Zeddemore. No one selected him as their favorite, but honestly, at least in the movie, in the live action, I probably, while it would be a tight race between all three of them. Like Venkman's my favorite, but then I would have to put almost all three right there for my second favorite because they all offer something different. But I think Winston is a great addition to the team, and I think they did it great in the movie, bringing him in. Mizpah, what do you think about that? The way they brought Winston in the movie, and he's not a scientist and that type of thing.
Yeah, I think his interactions with the other cast members and just the way that role was written, everything just fits together like a perfectly organized puzzle.
Yeah, Ernie Hudson does a great job playing Winston. Robby, what do you think about Winston?
I've always liked Winston. But like you were saying about like the whole group of total, if you just miss one of them, it wouldn't be the same.
No.
Absolutely.
And I know we're not going to the future movies and stuff, but I mean, he's basically rich as hell and runs the Ghostbusters in the two new movies.
Yeah, the universe.
And he loves the Ecto one like it's his baby because he took care of it the most.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat Winston. He's a great character.
And there's so much. That's what I love about the newer movies, Robby, is that they created so much more lore for the first two movies. Especially when it comes to people like to overlook Winston, which is why I wanted to make sure that we mentioned and talked about him. But the legacy for Winston now is so much more too. And since we're talking a little bit about the legacy before we go to the next question, let me bring this up because this would be my vote for the best Ghostbusters game that I've played. Was the one for the 360 originally. They remastered it for the one. You play a newbie. You're just a nameless, faceless newbie I think they call you rookie. And the rest of the Ghostbusters are there, but all of the Ghostbusters appear in that game as well. And it's actually it follows parts of the story. There's so many throwbacks to the movies and the cartoons in that game. So I just wanted to make sure I threw that up there because I think that's the best, except for, and I know because I saw Robby, he just about to smirk. Except for the old Nintendo Ghostbusters, Robby.
All right, so for the one you're talking about, the Xbox game, they missed out on the best opportunity they could have done. The rookie should have been the baby from Ghostbusters 2. I mean, that's what I've always thought. That was a great game. It was a great tie-in for the movies. The Ghostbusters on the Nintendo, which the one I liked was Ghostbusters 2, where it was like overhead and you start off in the court. But my absolute favorite is the one they have out now on the VR, where you're actually fighting ghosts.
Yeah, UVR.
My son and I play that all the time. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not a VR guy. I can't imagine why that is. Mike, what are your thoughts on Winston and the lore?
Like, I agree with what y'all said. Like, if you take him away or any of the other three away, like, it just takes away from everybody else because they all provide something to each other.
And did you play any of the video games?
I played a little bit of the Xbox game, and that's the only one I've ever played.
Okay, you're missing out. You should go back and play some of the old school Nintendo games. I'm sure you can find an emulator or a simulator or something online where you can play those old school games. But
you can.
Yeah, the Nintendo ones were really, really good and really ahead of their time, Robbie, wouldn't you say?
I would. The one that I was talking about, I think Ghostbusters 2, like I said, you're playing with two characters at the same time. One shoots the proton wand, the other one throws out the trap. It's difficult, but it's fun at the same time. I just think that's probably like, because they had them on Super Nintendo, Sega, and stuff like that, and they had like these giant heads and stuff. Didn't care for those. It's hard to find a movie tie-in video game that was actually pretty good, and Ghostbusters did it. Now, the original Ghostbuster game was difficult as hell, and I won't even try to play it anymore.
Yeah, that's the one that I think I would pick is probably other than the Xbox One or 360 version. I would probably pick the original one. That's the one where it's a mini game, right? Where you drive through the location. It's a mini game, and then you got to battle the ghosts. And that game is like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hard. I wish I had a visual for that. And you guys, all you real gamers, all you old school gamers out there know what Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles I'm talking about. The game with the seaweed. And that's all I need to say. Mizpah, did you have a favorite Ghostbusters game, or did you? I don't know. You're not always the biggest gamer, so did you get a chance to play any of those? Or
I actually didn't play too many Ghostbusters games. I mean, I kind of got wrapped up into racing games and really didn't look at much else.
Yeah, you've always been the racing gamer, that's for sure. We did the favorite Ghostbuster. Mike, did you have something?
I'll say I know you and Robbie were talking about. Yeah, I was saying I know you and Robbie don't want to get into any of the newer movies, but I would feel remiss if I didn't bring up, because it reminds me of it. Actually, I have a story of one of the newer movies because I was working at a movie theater when the newest one hit theaters, and I remember the opening weekend. Like, it was just all the diehard fans and new fans were just coming to watch it. And the movie theater I worked at, we had these promotional popcorn buckets, and they're just selling like hotcakes.
Those are always great.
I got one.
Yeah, those are always great. Have any of you guys ever been to like one of the midnight releases at a movie theater? Whether you worked at it or you just went to one? Mike, Nick?
Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, Nick can go first.
No, I don't know. Did you ever go to a midnight release of a movie, Nick?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I thought you were part of the Zombieland 2 one.
I'm sorry, say what?
Weren't you part of the Zombieland 2? Or not Zombieland 2, the first Zombieland. We went to the midnight showing of the first Zombieland. Yeah, I thought you were. And I've been to a couple as well. So, and those are always the most fun. Those are always the most fun.
Oh yeah.
I got to see Avengers Endgame opening night.
Oh, nice. That would have been quite a sight to see as well, I would imagine. All right. All right. First Ghostbusters movie. Does anybody have a favorite scene of the movie?
Oh, man.
Mike, do you want to go first, Mike?
It's when they're at it's the hotel scene after they catch the ghost at the hotel, and Venkman says one of the funniest lines ever. It's, "We came, we saw, we kicked his ass."
Yeah. Yeah. I always love that whole scene because I was just watching the movie actually just before we did the episode. And what's funny about that whole sequence in the hotel is that in the scene where Janine's answering the phone, she says the line, Oh, of course, they'll be totally discreet. And that is
Nowhere
such
near.
an important line to happen right before that sequence of events. Yes, of course, they'll be totally discreet. We came, we saw, we kicked its ass. A smoking trap that looks like it's on fire coming up. Shh.
And they threatened to release it. And they threatened to,
discreet.
and the owner asked them what they're asked how much is it going to be or whatever, and he doesn't want to pay it, and then they threatened to re-release it.
Yeah, we could just put that right back in there, can't we, Dr. Stantz? Oh, of course we can, Dr. Venkman. Yeah, that's a great one too. Robbie, what about you? You got a favorite scene?
Well, I've always loved the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man scene when he's walking through the city. You first see it between the buildings and stuff. That has always been one of my favorite scenes. But it's a mix-up between that and the very beginning where they show the title card and the sound of the librarian screaming, then it goes into the song.
Yep.
Every time it goes into the song, I get chills.
Dude,
so
that's Go ahead. If there's more, go ahead.
No, that's it. I mean, that's just my thing. The song, when the song comes on and it shows that classic Ghostbusters title and starts playing the song, I just
that's something
love it.
That's something movies don't do a lot of in today's world anymore. I'm going to take you off on a little side tangent here. That's something movies don't do as much anymore. Is like the soft intro. I was just when Mizpah and I went to the re-release of the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. It was just as awesome as it was when I was 7 years old. I don't care. But during that whole opening sequence, it's April talking about a news report and what's been happening in the city. We don't get a sight of the turtles until we're almost 7 or 8 minutes into the movie. I think it was. That's the first time. And the Psy coming across, I don't count that. I'm talking about like actual full on turtle on the screen. We don't get until almost 7 or 8 minutes in. That's crazy. Could you imagine someone making a turtle movie? Go ahead.
I could deal with that though. The ones that I can't stand is the ones where you don't see it through half the movie.
Yeah, but that's what I would. Yeah, but I like the soft intros, like the way the Turtles did, the way the Ghostbusters did,
the news report. Right.
Yeah. I love the
especially with Ninja Turtles 2 when they jump through the air and just the title card. Love it.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff the movies don't do quite as much of. Some of them do, but not quite as much of. Mike, do you? We already did you, Mizpah. Do you have a favorite scene?
I really like the part where Rick Moranis, is that his name? With the like demon dog thing.
Yeah. When he's running around when the dog's chasing him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a cougar in his apartment. Help me, help me. And then when he's up against the window and he just screams and then just slides down.
Trying to open a window like at the door.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good one. Honestly, my favorite scene though is I'm gonna go with I like the scene right afterwards except like what Mike was talking about, except I like specifically where they're talking about the price of what everything is, specifically that part of it. That's what I like. That was my favorite scene when they start talking about the cost and Egon's giving him the signals while he's talking to him. That's one of my favorite scenes because I think the connection between Venkman, Egon, and Ray is between the real people and then the characters. Like it really comes through in the movie, I think. Sorry, my eyes are watering because I was laughing. And let me see if I have any of my other questions here. I thought I had another one in here. Maybe I did not. But I wanted to anybody to our who's watching this right now on the reshow because it's not live. Leave a take the moment, leave it in the comment if you know who this character is that Venkman is talking to, and I'm going to poll our group guys here in just a second, see if they remember his name. But leave a comment if you know his name, and I want to see how many people actually are watching this, and then we'll leave a comment before we actually get to the answer. So I'm vamping for a second to give people an extra second to leave their comment before we actually get to the answer. All right, who wants to go first? Who's the character? Robbie knows the answer.
It's Dickless. Dickless.
Is this true? That's
what they say.
Yep. I was hoping maybe Michael or Mizpah would be able to pick up the rest of the next line, but they weren't Johnny on the spot there, so it's okay.
I had something I was going to say, but I didn't think
of the way. The next line, by the way, is it is true, Your Honor. This man has no dick.
There you go.
So yes, Walter Peck is the character's name there, and he's just a perfect random human villain that they added to the movie. That I think was just a great addition, because it's not all about ghosts. Like, there's a human who's trying to stand in their way, and it just creates another layer in the movie, and I love that. What do you guys think? Robbie, you go first.
I don't like his character. It gives you like a single antagonist to dislike before you meet Zool. I love his interactions with Venkman, as we were just talking about.
Yeah,
and they bring him into later movies as well. So I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And you know what? Unfortunately, I believe it or not, I can't believe you guys are going to shame me for this, I hope. But I do not have. Oh, no, that's the. Never mind. I almost just caught myself into real big trouble. Let's talk about two of the supporting cast members who, again, we're talking about how all of the characters in this movie make this movie what it is. And of course, not just the four Ghostbusters, not just Walter Peck, not just the mayor, but these two as well also make the movie. Rick Moranis and Sigourney Weaver are just the perfect what is this doing in this movie combination. Mizpah, what are your thoughts on that?
I have to agree with you on that. The two of them fed well off of each other the whole way through the movie. Like, the cast, I think, honestly, overall, the casting for the movie, if you'd have put anybody else in any of those roles, it wouldn't be a classic.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. And I'm sorry, before I get to you, Mike, I just want to point that out. Robbie said his favorite scene, and I actually had a visual for it, and I forgot that I had it in the library. So I wanted to make sure we bring it up here. The iconic floating woman in the library scene before they have their proton packs, before they have anything. And does anybody remember what Ray's plan was?
Just grab her.
Just grab her. Yeah, just grab her. Get her.
Get her. All right, and Mike, what about you? What are your thoughts on Rick Moranis and Sigourney Weaver? I can't remember. Does anybody remember Rick Moranis' character name?
I might get shamed for this. Y'all might shame me for it, but I know Rick Moranis. I know him for another movie more than I know him for Ghostbusters. You can shame me for it all you want.
Oh no, I think. Who wouldn't put Honey, I Shrunk the Kids up there when you're talking about Rick Moranis?
I'm talking about Spaceballs.
Oh well, who wouldn't put that on the list too? Who wouldn't put that on the list too? That's what I'm saying. He's coming out of retirement. Little side note: he's coming out of retirement to do Spaceballs too.
The search for more money.
So nobody knows the character's name.
I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah, we'd be terrible. Dana Barrett is the name of Sigourney Weaver's character. That much I know, but I cannot remember Rick Moranis' character to save my life. So I don't.
My dad always just called him Pipsqueak.
Pipsqueak. Yeah, that was all my visuals. Is there anything you guys want to talk about the movie? I think the whole movie was good. I think it was a really good ending. I think it's a classic, and I think it's still a really great movie that still holds up today. So, Robbie, what do you think on that? And your closing thoughts?
I think it's a great movie. it was going to have a totally different cast at one time. Belushi was going to be in it, but they Slimer off of Belushi. Eddie Murphy was going to be Winston, but Ernie Hudson became Winston, which I'm glad. I think he did a phenomenal job. One supporting cast that we did not mention as much is Janine.
Oh, you're right.
I love her character as well in the movie. Even watching young Sheldon, I'm sitting here like she looks as good now as she did back then.
Yeah.
And she had a big ass crush on Egon, and then it ends up being with Rick Moranis' character later on in part 2.
In the second one, isn't it a different actress that's playing her in the second one? Isn't it?
No, it's not.
It is the same.
She's just wearing a wig.
No kidding.
She's just wearing a wig.
What they did though, was they aged her down though in the second one. Like in the first one, they portrayed her as a little bit older of a woman. In the second one, they put her.
Well, they changed her outfits. They had her like in a punk rock looking crap, and I think they were doing that to fit in more with the cartoons.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of the cartoons, when I was little, I never understood why Slimer wasn't their friends in the movie. But now I know the movie came out before the cartoon. So
Slimer was just a character they added for the cartoon part. But even still, even in the movie, even in the second one, he's not like even the second movie. We're not going to talk much about the second movie, but in the second movie, Slimer has a little cameo, but it's not like they're immediately, it's Rick Moranis flips over the couch. Or no, that's in the first one after they all get let out, isn't it? No, it isn't the second one. I'm getting myself confused now. Saying I'm getting confused and everybody else. Let's just move on from that. But you're absolutely right. I did not have a visual for Janine, and we did not give her a shout out. So you're absolutely right. She's definitely also a very important cast member to the movie. Especially all of her iconic scenes at the desk are just, they that's what I'm saying. They did a great job with casting at creating this, and then the cartoons did a great job at kind of paying homage to the live action as well.
They actually have an episode to where they have the suits that are sold from what happened in the movies that creates like clone Ghostbusters.
Okay.
So the marshmallows and stuff from the Marshmallow Man, is in the like on their suits. It gets they become sentient in the cartoon. So they do a lot of callbacks to the movie.
Oh, shoot, I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. And how about, I'm sorry, one last thing. Venkman at the end of the scene when they're all covered in marshmallow and Venkman comes out and he's like, I'm fine.
I've always thought it was iconic when Winston just says, I love this city. And he lights a cigarette or smokes a cigarette.
Yeah, Winston. Yeah, that's also a very iconic one. A very iconic one too. Mike, all right, what are your thoughts? What are your final thoughts on the movie? Do you have and your final wrap up?
Just Ghostbusters. It defined like a whole generation of pop culture. Like just the theme song, the car, the whole get up. You see people at Comic Cons and conventions. I've been to 2 different Comic Cons, and there's always been multiple people having a whole group of Ghostbusters. So it just
I completely believe that.
They're nerds.
I mean, there aren't a lot of movies that you could play the first 2 notes of the intro song and people immediately are like, oh,
they turn their heads. They turn their heads.
It's my ringtone on my phone.
I love it.
Yeah, and I'm bringing this up because this was also one of my favorite scenes when the comedy's kind of over at this point. They get their butts kicked, and then they come back, in formation. Venkman leading them. I think that's an iconic scene as well, and that also goes back to the Turtles. There again, Robbie, in this movie. I mean, it's different in the Turtles movie. The Turtles get their butts kicked for a solid portion of the end of that movie. The Ghostbusters just kind of get flung almost off the roof, but it's like they're a god. Go ahead.
Are you a god?
Yeah. and next time you say yes. But that's what I'm saying. Like they just get flung right back, and they just, they just get sent right back. So this is them. That scene is like, their redemption. Like, okay, we can't clown around here. This is a real thing. Like this isn't just like, oh, the ghost down at the 7-Eleven. This is like real big time stuff. So I like how the comedy kind of stopped for a little bit after, like during that final scene when they were crossing the streams. The movie did a really good job at making it a comedy, but then making you feel those real moments. Especially
I kind of wish that they would go a little darker with Ghostbusters. Like I've always would love to see not a straight up horror movie, but something that would make you jump.
Yeah, that'd be
because I mean, I know we're not going towards the new one. Watch the beginning of what is it called, Afterlife or whatever, the first of the new ones. The beginning of it, the way that they show the Ecto one going through the cornfield, running from the spirit, and how he goes inside the house, he sits down, and all that stuff. And it was kind of a little bit more edgy. And I would love to watch an edgy Ghostbusters with a little bit of comedy, but more jumps, just to see how it would be.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Now, would you recast that, or would you keep them? Would you keep bring back the original cast?
You would have to recast it. I hate to say it, but you would have to. They're getting too old to play those parts, especially if you did like what I was saying, like a darker Ghostbusters. Now, if they come out with a third installment of the new Ghostbusters, I could see the new cast being in. I mean, I'm cool with it. They were cool in the new movies. I mean, they didn't have to do too much. All they had to do was show their face, and people were happy.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
yeah, that's what I hope that what the new movies are effective in doing is giving us like who the next generation of Ghostbusters might be. So that way, because I don't think recasting them, I don't think anybody's going to buy a recast of Ghostbusters.
No.
I don't think that's something you can do. And I think a movie company, if you're listening right now, please don't do it, because I don't think anybody's going to buy it. You have to try and find a way to evolve the story. And as Robby just said, some of these guys are getting a little bit old up there, and we already lost Harold Ramis. So, you need to, I hope that this series is doing that, is setting up the next generation so we can continue to have Ghostbusters without it being recast or rebooted, if you will.
Also,
go ahead.
Also, for back then, they had some very cool effects, even for back then in the 80s and all. Some of the effects then are like, they were good for their times,
especially off the proton packs.
Mm-hmm.
The beams off the proton packs were really awesome,
especially for that time frame. Yeah,
absolutely. Mizpah, did you already did your closing thoughts?
Yeah, I was sitting here trying to think of something negative to say about the movie, because but I just couldn't think of anything. What about you guys?
Well, originally, when I was younger, like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. To me, it was like normal looking old dudes. Like it wasn't a Schwarzenegger or a Stallone or a Van Damme or a John McClane or whatever. But as you grow older, you learn that your heroes don't necessarily have to be these cock diesel looking mofos. And as I grew up, I can see myself in each one of these characters.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, I don't have a bad thing to say about the movie. It's a damn near perfect movie.
Yeah, really it is. It really is. Go ahead, Michael.
I know it's about Ghostbusters, but I don't know if you were cool with me talking about it. It's a little cameo. If you all were talking about Zombieland earlier being at the midnight release or whatever, but in the very first Zombieland movie, there is a cameo from Bill Murray, and they do like a whole and they do a whole bit of like Ghostbusters stuff in there, like him and Woody Harrelson. It's a cool cameo to see that.
Yeah, it's a great throwback. Yeah, it's a great nod in that movie. That's a Bill Murray movie because of even that small little part he did in Zombieland. That's a Bill Murray movie because he steals the whole movie with that one scene. He just does. It doesn't matter.
I'll see you on the other side.
And he just played himself.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He just played himself. And then, of course, the practical joke where he's going to pretend to be a zombie. I saw that, dude. I was watching in the movie, and as soon as he said, watch this, and then put the hair back on, I said, Bill Murray's getting himself shot. And then, boom, I was like,
Yeah.
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. But it was hilarious also. Bill Murray's just hilarious. And I think what we're might do, Robby, is maybe because we do a series every year for Halloween, right? Like we do a series, then we do an individual movie, and we're going to be doing an obscure movie, and that's probably going to be the staple of our Halloween coverage moving forward. What if we added a fourth episode and we just covered the Ghostbusters series over the next couple of years instead of doing all of them in 1 year?
I'm good with that.
So, cool. So there you go. Next year, look for Ghostbusters 2. We'll talk about Ghostbusters 2 next year, and then the next one after that. I don't like to promote too much for next year, but next year we're doing The Conjuring as our series watch along. So everybody get a head start on that, including everybody in this podcast episode right now. Almost all of them are available on Peacock right now. Okay. So just so you know that almost all of the Conjuring universe movies are available on Peacock right now. And for our viewers, they're available on Peacock right now if you want to watch them. 'Tis the season, Halloween. Check out our storefront, bonfire.com/store/Mayhem Media shop. We have a bunch of new products. This does not show you what is actually on there. I need to make a new visual to show it, but we have so many new things coming up, new designs, new products coming out. Robby H is responsible for a lot of the designs that we sell on the storefront. So make sure you leave a comment and tell him what a great job he does on all the graphics, including the Mayhem Media skull, which you see in the corner, which would not exist without him and behind him. Because Robby H, Ecto 85, he literally flies the Mayhem flag. So make sure you give him a comment, give him a shout out in the comments as well. Is there anything else? No, the storefront, and that's it. Yeah, so that's it for us. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to do the obscure movie next. That's the next Halloween movie, which you'll see sometime in the next 10 to 12 days. And then at the end of this of the month, you will see we will do the Friday the 13th series at the end of the month. That will also be a live episode, the Friday the 13th. Michael, you have something else before I close out?
I was going to close the show with. I was going to have us close the show with a quote from Ghostbusters. It's kind of fitting.
All right, what do you got?
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
We did. We came, we saw, and we kicked its ass. For everybody, thank you for tuning in. Leave a comment, share it out, hit the comments, and that's the end.